You know that feeling when you're trying so hard to understand yourself, digging deeper and deeper, but the more you analyze, the more lost you feel? It's like the truth you're after just keeps moving further away. Well, today, we're talking about a huge shift, getting out of that endless task of figuring yourself out and stepping into the real freedom of creating yourself anew.
It's a really common trap, isn't it? You're trying to improve, you're trying to grow, but it just feels like you're running on a hamster wheel. If any of that sounds familiar, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's actually give this frustrating cycle a name so we can see it for what it is.
All right, so let's call this thing what it is, the endless start. This is the very core of the trap of recursive analysis, where the process of starting over, well, it becomes the entire journey.
Does that ring a bell? It's this exact pattern. You dive deep, you analyze everything, you hit a wall of just total mental exhaustion, you take a break, which you definitely need, but then, before you know it, you're right back at square one, picking up the same old books and starting the same search all over again.
I mean, this just says it all, doesn't it? It's a cycle that fuels itself. We're sort of taught that if we fail, the only thing to do is just try again. But, try harder this time. But what if the whole method, what if the trying itself is the actual problem?
So what does it actually feel like to be caught in this loop? Well, it's definitely not a path to clarity. In fact, it leads to this growing confusion. You start to feel even further from the truth, not closer to it. You get this nagging feeling that you're just recycling old ideas, that nothing you think is really original. You're basically just chasing your own tail. So, why does this keep happening? This brings us to a really crucial realization: the mind's dead end. We have to be honest about the limits of our own intellect when it comes to this kind of search.
And here's the central paradox. The very tool that we're using for the search, our amazing analytical mind, is actually what's getting us lost. See, the mind is always looking for a reason, an idea, something to hold on to. But the goal isn't to find an answer inside the mind. It's to move beyond it.
And this lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the mind search. That's the path of more and more thinking, which, as we've seen, just leads to confusion and burnout. But there's another way, the heart's knowing. This is the path of dropping thought, and that's where you find real wisdom. Not by analyzing, but through things like appreciation and simple gratitude.
So this makes you wonder, right? Is this whole idea of letting go just another fancy concept for our minds to chase? Or is it something way deeper, a genuine, embedded desire that's already inside us, wanting to move past this limited idea of ourselves and become whole again?
And making that pivot brings us straight to the solution. And it's a total game changer, a complete shift in how you see everything. Because you are the author. It's time to write a brand new story.
For so long, we've thought of this journey as a mission of discovery, like we're archaeologists trying to dig up some hidden secret truth about who we are. But what if that's been the wrong question this whole time?
Because the real power, the real freedom, isn't in finding yourself, it's in creating yourself. This is the ultimate act of empowerment. It takes you from being a passive observer of your past to being the active architect of your future.
So here it is. Here's the instruction. What story do you actually want to live? The power is right here, in your hands. Create your own story. Get it down on paper. And then take it from here, starting right now, as if it's the very first day. Please never, ever forget this. For too long, you might have been acting like a character in a story, just following a plot that you felt you couldn't control. But you're not. You are the author. You're the one holding the pen. You get to decide what happens next.
Okay, so what does this shift actually feel like in day-to-day life? Well, when you truly embrace your role as the author, you start living in what we can call the higher octave, a life that's guided by feeling, not just by frantic thinking. Now, this higher octave isn't some far-off mystical thing. It's actually a subtle vibration that's always been there, right in your chest. It's your intuition, your gut feeling, your inner GPS. It's about shifting from the constant noise in your head to the quiet wisdom of what you feel.
So how do you actually tap into this? It's simple, really. First, you just start to follow the feeling. You pay attention to that subtle vibration. Second, when an idea or a spark of inspiration hits you, you catch it. Don't let it drift away, write it down right then and there. And third, you just let it roll. Express what you feel without that old inner critic jumping in with judgment and over-analysis.
This is your official permission slip. Just let it all go. The old stories, the beliefs that held you back, the endless loops of analysis.
It is time to release all those attachments to your old narrative and truly, finally, start a new chapter.
And what's waiting for you in this new chapter? Look, this isn't about erasing your past. It's about building on it. Whatever comes next will be grander because now you are the one consciously writing it. It's going to be filled with more maturity, more depth, and all those things that were missing from the mind's search. Real appreciation, gratitude, and true wisdom. So, what story are you going to write?